Well, hello again, everyone. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean. Let's make our way to the floor. We're going to want 2 blocks and a strap. I'm gathering mine over here as well. 2 blocks. You might not need the strap, but I like to have those props around. And if we don't use them, and if we do want to use them, great, they were there. So glad they were there. Alas, and we're sitting down in a comfortable, easy seated position of your choice. I'm going for cross-legged. If you came to sit down in a cross-legged position or just sitting on the floor feels really tight or uncomfortable in your low back or hamstrings, sit yourself up on a block. Simply lifting yourself up on a block or even a folded towel, even if it's just like an inch of lift, it makes such a difference in the ability to open your hips. So just find a place where you can ground your sit bones on something and start to relax your shoulders away from your ears. We're hanging out here for 2 more minutes. Here in Yin Yoga, a big intention is to create stillness. Stillness in your body, but stillness also in your mind, in your breath. So, whatever else you're thinking about, if it's not this moment, this breath right now, take a big inhale and exhale, let it go. Clear your mind of external thoughts besides how your body is feeling and moving in this moment, in this part of your inhale, in that part of your exhale. I know I sound crazy. I know. But like I really do believe it. So take the next 43 minutes to suspend your disbelief and join me in the wonderful world of hippy dippity yoga thought. Here's a great one. If you want to set an intention for today's class, now is a good time to do so. An intention or a positive affirmation that you can reflect back upon when your thoughts do start to stray towards literally anything besides this moment and this breath and the stretch that you're creating right now. My favorite positive intention is that I am worth it. I am worthy. There is no one better to be than myself. And this week I added the phrase, I deserve to be happy. If any or all of that sounded great to you, please feel free to reflect back on it as your mind might churn throughout class or any time throughout. On your next inhale, create some length through the crown of your head. A gentle draw in of your low belly is going to help your back feel good. Inhale your arms up. Keeping your left arm high to the sky, right hand comes down either by your hip to the mat or to the block if the floor feels far away. Take a generous bend of your elbow, maybe forearm even comes down to the block or mat. One day you can stack your shoulders. Today you're focusing most on keeping your hips, both hips, to the floor. Notice if you're rounding forward a lot. If you need to, that's fine. We're creating as much of a stretch as we can on the left side of the body. Perhaps you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Eye gaze can be down to the floor. A little bit more of a stretch. Eye gaze is up high. I'm going to keep my eye on the clock because we've got about 30 seconds left here. Start to come into your stillness. Remember, if your eyes are moving, your mind is moving. So one spot to focus your eyes or close them. Tune into your breath. On your next inhale, we're going to lift ourselves up. Right arm stays high. Exhale. Left hand comes to the floor. You can take a generous bend of your left elbow. You can keep your left arm straight if you want. This is your practice. Shoulders away from your ears. Create as much length as you can from the crown of your head uh, to your hip, to your glute, from your fingers to your armpit to your. So there's a couple different stretches. We got 1 minute to go. Create your stillness. So another big thing today is you're trying to find a stretch that you can hold for at least 1 minute, sometimes quite a few minutes longer. Way better to find a stretch that you can hold, even if it's really small, even if it barely seems like you move, to be right here and to hold it, as opposed to come in and to come out and to come in and come out. It's a whole different way of stretching. We're working to find our stillness, find our breath. And it's normal if it's hard, especially if this is a new practice for you or if there's a lot on your mind. Remember, it is just practice. It's not perfect. Every day is different. Enjoy what your body can do today, even if it's 1 moment of stillness. On your next inhale, bring your left arm up high to the sky. And then exhale, turn twist. Let's turn to the right for a spine twist. Right hand can come behind you. Left hand goes wherever you need. I'm pretty tight, and I like my left hand on my left knee. But if you want, you can bring your left hand to your right knee. But don't bring your left hand to your right knee if it sacrifices the length in your spine. That's why I like this left knee too. I can this big lift and then a twist. Lift and twist. Relax shoulders from ears. Just over a minute to go. I'm start to bring some more silence to the practice so you can focus on breath, on your intention, on yourself. Make sure you haven't twisted so deep that you're holding your breath because of the stretch. If you're bringing space to your breath because you're intentionally bringing space to your breath, that's a whole nother wonderful option to bring your arms up overhead as you twist forward for the next inhale, or simply twist. Find your length. Exhale, turn to the opposite side. Shoulders away from your ears, grounding through your sit bone, low belly pulled in, chest open, lifted, proud. Remember, you might not be able to twist open your chest more and look open. On your next inhale, you once again have the option to bring your arms up overhead as you turn yourself back forward. We're going to interlace our fingers and bring our hands palms to the back of the head. You can separate your thumbs, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other, pull your elbows back, and try to get rid of the overarching of your back. Grapefruit sized space under your chin. pushing your hands, pushing your head into your hands' palms. Try not to let your hands push your head forward. We are halfway through right here. Shoulders away from your ears. Keep lower belly in. Let's carefully release and stretch your arms all the way out to the side. Hands palms in line with your shoulders. Fingers flex back, please. Lower belly pulls in, shoulders fall away from your ears. Might even start to feel a little tingling sensation in your fingers. Just a couple breaths. Release your hands into your lap, palm facing up, elbows in close. And then as you're ready, bring your hands palms to the floor in front of you. We're going to pull ourselves up into tabletop or make your way into tabletop. So I'm going to turn. Once you get to that tabletop, it's cat time, free movement. So find whatever feels good for you, whether you're like shaking your cat or cow's tail. You can see my head in the video for a second. The yoga's so good I died. Can you believe it? This would be a great way to go. I had been thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool if I could slow my breath down? It's practice enough that I could be one of those people. What a weird day. All right, we're going to start to get some shoulder stretches, some chest openers. So finish up whatever motions you were getting in your cat cow right here. Right your neutral table. Let's keep the right hand down on the floor. You can keep it where it is or maybe walk it a little towards center. Inhale your left arm high to the sky. High gaze, turn twist, try your hips. And then left arm threads the needle underneath of the right. Left shoulder comes to the mat. Left temple comes to the floor. Keep your hand palm by your chest for a moment. And before you move anything else, like wiggle your hips a little. Where is equal pressure through both of your knees and trying not to shift your hips? All right. You can keep your right hand on the floor, trying to open up your right shoulder while still keeping your two hips as much in one line as possible. Or for a little bit more, inhale your right arm up, bend at the elbow, reach towards your right hip crease for a little bit of a bind. Your left elbow can stretch up and back. And I'm going to grab the timer because we're here for 2 more minutes and I would like them to be in honest 2 minutes. You can energetically reach with your left hand fingers to the right hand side of the room, but still working towards that equal pressure through your knees, shins. If you have the bind with your right hand at your left hip, inhale your right arm up to the sky. Exhale, release your right hand down to the floor. Inhale, send your left arm high to the sky. Eye gaze follows hands. Try not to let the hips shift. Chest open. Exhale, left hand comes. That was a lot. Let's give ourselves some more cat cows. Couple more breaths here. Excuse me. All right, start to make your way back to that neutral tabletop again. This time, left hand can stay where it is, or maybe left hand comes closer to the center of the mat. Take any rounding out of your back. Inhale your right arm high to the sky. Try not to hips twist. And exhale, right arm weaves underneath. Right shoulder comes down towards the floor. Right temple comes down towards the mat. And keep your left hand right here if you need to. Otherwise, take a moment and shift your hips a little bit again. Try to find that equal pressure, equal hips. And when you're ready, inhale your left arm high to the sky. Bend at the elbow. Left hand can come towards right hip crease. Working to open up chest. Shoulders away from ears. Find one spot, focus your eyes or close them, energetically reaching through right hand fingers to the left hand side of the room, but not shifting your hips. We've got about 1 minute to go. Not all of the postures are super fun or comfortable, but you know what? Neither is life. If you took the bind, get ready to carefully release. Inhale, left arm up to the sky. Exhale, left hand down to the floor. Push into it, straighten your arms. Engage your back, don't twist your hips. Inhale, right arm high. Eye gaze follows arm. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Once more, just a little cat cow, a little shorter this time. Can you even tuck your toes under while we're here and we cat cow? Because you're gonna need to for the next little stretch to start to you know, need some biscuits of the underside of your toes down towards the floor. And then let's come into our big toe stretch. This might be where you are right now. This might be enough stretch on the underside of your feet. Otherwise, start to bring your glutes towards your heels, start to walk your hands in, start to apply a little bit more pressure. Equally applying pressure under all 5 of your toes. So not just rolling towards the big toe, trying to get that little toe into the party. You can start to lift yourself up. But remember, we're working to find some stillness and we want to hold somewhere. We've got 1 amazing minute to go. It's okay if you have your hands palms down on the floor. Tune into your relaxed breath. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Close your eyes. How slow can you make your inhale? Can you make your exhale even longer? Now, if at some point this becomes super painful and you need to bring your hands back down to the floor, you do. But otherwise, we've got like 1 more breath. And now slowly start to bring your hands back to the floor. Untuck your toes. Tap the tops of the feet down. So good. You can walk your legs up. We're going to spend a minute in kneeling. We're going to spend a few minutes in kneeling, but we're spending this first minute just in kneeling. If kneeling like this is uncomfortable for you, explore opening your knees a little bit wider. Explore bringing a block underneath of your glutes. It really did feel quite good today, I must say. All right. If for any reason sitting back like this and kneeling is still uncomfortable, you can do the what's coming up from kneeling on your actual knees with a little squeeze of your glutes and hips pressing forward to stay stacked, head, shoulders, hips and knees, as opposed to that sway back of your glutes. So if you're going to be on your knees, you can like bring your toes like a tripod, but hips are going to stay forward. Okay. So next up, we get a nice tricep stretch. If you're sitting, ground through your sit bones. If you're kneeling, ground through your knees. Belly in, inhale your arms up overhead. And then exhale and bend the left arm. Left fingertips coming close to your spine. Right fingers can press down onto that elbow. Notice if you overarched your back and take that overarching of your back out. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Push the back of your head into your left forearm as opposed to allowing your head to go down towards the floor. So that squeeze of the glutes, a little bit of a tucking of the pelvis. Yes. Belly pulled in, lengthening, lifting of the chest. We got a couple breaths left here. Let's add in a little side body stretch. Reach over to the right. Maybe you barely moved. Maybe it's just the thought of reaching over to the right. Keep that back engaged. One day in the future, shoulders will stack. Just a couple more breaths. On your next inhale, lift yourself up. Stretch your arms up overhead. Exhale, relax your arms down by your side. Take a moment just to decompress your shoulders. If allowing your arms to hang heavy by the side doesn't feel great, just bring them to your lap, palms facing down. For some grounding, palms facing up to receive the quality energy in this. And then once again, make sure there's not a lot of tuck in your pelvis or rounding. Okay, think of your pelvis like a bowl. And if there's a lot of rounding in your back, you're like spilling your pelvic bowl forward. So we just want to straighten out the top of the bowl so there's no spill. Inhale your arms back up. This time bending your right elbow. Woo. Right hand fingertips come towards your back of the neck, back of the spine. Maybe you're so tight that that just doesn't happen today, and that's okay. Maybe your right hand fingertips are coming more towards your shoulder. My tricep. And it's like normal if you're having trouble lifting your head up, if you're looking down towards the floor. I'm just asking you to try squeezing your shoulder blades together, drawing those elbows back, lifting through the crown of your head, making sure you're not spilling out of your pelvic bowl. We got a couple breaths left here before we find that delightful side body stretch in the opposite direction. Are you ready for it? Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. You don't have to get there super fast. You can keep moving through each breath. Inhale, continue to find that lift. Exhale, continue to create this. And on your next inhale, lift yourself up. Slowly stretch your arms up overhead. Exhale, relax your arms down by yourself. Once more, hands palms can come into your lap or simply stretch towards you. Okay, let's make our way onto our glutes. Keep your blocks nearby as we will definitely be using those blocks. Maybe using the strap. All right, you can bend your knees. You can windshield spread. Keep your peanuts to yourself. You can windshield wipe your feet right and left. You can have your legs really, oh my gosh, fine. Or you can have your feet closer together. Ooh, maybe you even give yourself a nice little supported back bend here. We got a forward fold coming up. So legs can extend nice and long. Squeeze your shoulder blades together with your hands behind your hips. Lift your chest. Chin, eyes can even stretch up towards the ceiling. Find that tilt again of your. I'm going from things were spilling while I was leaning back to taking the spill out of my pelvis. Chin returns to chest. We're going to walk ourselves forward for some caterpillar. If you're feeling really tight, if sitting on the floor is not comfortable for you, options are A, bending your knees. Bending your knees, belly towards your thigh, nice flat back, fingers can stay on the floor. Other option, sitting up on a block. Sometimes the block is a little high. Sitting on a towel or something that's like a third of the size of the block can help. Hands might even just be right here on your hips. Maybe your belly can't even come to your thighs. Or maybe it can. Or maybe it comes to your block. Once you have a hinge of your hips, if you would like to take some rounding, you may. And here we are in a gentle forward fold. If you want more, flex your toes to your face. If you want less, allow your toes to do what they feel free to use your hands to hold your head. We're focusing on the stretch we're creating on the back of the legs, and everything else is just like gravy. Also, we are laying down on the floor very shortly for some delightful long holds on the floor. So it's almost there. One minute left. Maybe you make some slight adjustments. Maybe there's something you can relax a little bit more to create a little bit more length or stretch in your legs, which is where we're focusing. Mhm, mhm. Okay. Draw your belly in, protect your back. Inhale, lift yourself up. Once again, feel free to give yourself that nice supported backward bend. And then sit up. We've got some half stump. We'll keep it short. Uh, right heel is going to come close to your center line. It can come out a little bit as well to make some space for your belly. And then either using your hands on your shin or using your knee in your elbow crook, or maybe you're even using your strap. because you need to. I want you to try and lift your chest. So try and take the rounding out of your back. Use your hands to pull and lift. We've got 1 minute to go right here. We're getting a little hip opener, one side at a time, and then we'll bring it all together for a butterfly, either seated or reclined. And let's switch. Awesome. Right leg's going to extend out long this time, and left leg folds in. Place the sole of the left foot on the floor. Use your hands palms to pull you up. Use your elbow crook to pull you up. Use your strap to stay lifted. Whatever you want to do. You got about a minute to go. Your mind is starting to wander. Can you bring it back to a positive intention? Whether you set one at the beginning of class or you pick one up right now. Once again, my amazing shareable intention is that I'm worth it. I'm worthy. There's no one better to be than myself. I deserve to be happy. You made it. Bring your hands behind you. Let's bend that right leg. And once again, windshield wipe your feet. Option to lift your chest. Next up is butterfly. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. You can stay sitting up if you want to. If your soles of the feet come together and your knees are all the way into your armpits, you're going to bring your blocks to help meet your legs. So you're raising the floor to you. You can stay lifted. You can keep your hands behind you. You can even fold forward and turn your head into a bowl. You place your feet in. Let's say you don't have any blocks and your knees are coming up towards your armpits. Wiggle them closer towards the bottom of the mat. And if you're just tired of sitting up or you want something different, you can also take this stretch laying down on your back. If you do decide to come down to your back, take a moment while you're down here to really lift your hips up, whether you do it with your legs wide or from a glute bridge, just to really get that great space for yourself. You might end up wanting or needing your blocks. We're here for 2 minutes from right now. Oh. Okay, changing things up. Hopefully your blocks are nearby. Go ahead, soles of the feet come down towards the floor. Walk your knees in. If you were sitting up, lower yourself down towards the floor. Let's take the block. Oh my gosh. Stretch out your low back. On your inhale, lift yourself up. Place the block at whatever height you want, right at the real small of your back. So your glutes, your bum is hanging off of one side. We're only going to be here for 2 minutes. Keeping this supported glute bridge pretty short. If you want, arms can stay by your side. Arms can stretch up overhead. Of course, you can walk or wiggle your feet out further, but it's a shorter glute bridge. So just suggesting this extra stretch in the arms, chest for right now. Check out how you're grounding through your feet on the floor. I noticed I was like gripping the mat with my toes. Can you relax your feet a little? Trust the block under your back. Trust your breath. Awesome. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Stretch your right leg up towards the sky. A little extra press into the low back. Go ahead, bend your right knee. Release the right foot back down to the floor. If you need to, you can bring your arms back down by your side for this. So sorry. Forgot to mention it for a little extra grounding. Let's get that left leg, bend your knee, and then send that left leg up towards the sky. It's okay if it doesn't straighten. And then just bend your left knee, bend your right knee. You can have your knees coming towards your chest or send your legs up towards the sky. If this does not feel good on your block, then just simply exit your way out and remove the block from under your back, and we'll meet you there. You got 1 minute here. A little extra pressure into the low back. Legs up against the imaginary wall. Draw your knees back towards your chest. One at a time, release the feet back down to the floor. Once both feet are firmly planted, inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, one vertebrae at a time. Relax your back down to the mat. Send your arms out wide to the side and allow your knees to fall heavy to the right. If you want an extra stretch in your neck, turn, twist, and look over your left shoulder. Relaxing in a spine twist. Spine twist will be our last asana before Savasana. If you turn to look over your shoulder, bring your head and heart back in line. Roll onto your back, press into your feet if you need to shift your hips, and then allow knees to fall heavy to the opposite side. Whole new side. Enjoy what feels good. Option to look over your shoulder. Bring your head back in line with your heart. Slowly roll over onto your back. Extend your legs long. You can keep your arms wide or bring your arms closer by your side. Traditionally, palms facing up, heels touch, toes fall open, but find what feels good for you. Check out if your back of the neck is not touching the mat. Bring your chin towards your chest. Get as much of the back of your head, back of your neck, tips and tops of your shoulders, upper back, middle back, low back. Working our way down, making contact with the mat with the glutes, with the hamstrings, the calves, the heels, and maybe the outside of the feet. Awesome, everyone. I'm going to leave you here in this final Savasana, and I encourage you to stay here for at least a little, maybe a lot longer. Before you do decide to get up from your mat, can you take a few breaths, whether it's for the 30th time today or the first, and think of something that you can positively take with you as you move forward through your day, through your week or weekend. Whether it's that positive intention or affirmation, or just something that you can reflect upon that you're proud of, an action, a behavior, a task that you've completed this week that can bring you some pride. And may that warm you up from the inside out. Until we are together again, I hope you'll do so many things that make you feel good from the inside out, like think good thoughts, speak good words to yourself, to others, eat good foods, do good deeds. If no one's told you today, you're special. And the light within me honors season is so thankful for the light within you. So thank you so much for coming, for showing up for yourself, for taking a part of my energy, and for putting your awesome energy out there. I know when you watch these videos, I feel it. All right, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and practice. Namaste.